Yes, this is your soul brother Talib coming at you once again. I just like to you know, talk with you a few minutes about the current situation that's going on and how much, the past still resonates with it as well as the effect it will have on the future. And I just want to say that and with the situation going on with black people in this country right now, you know, it seems like, you know, after hearing what someone told me yesterday in a conversation, you notice you don't hear anything about terrorist attacks. You don't hear anything about you know, mass shootings going on in the country anywhere. And but you keep hearing constantly about police brutality going on in the country during this time called COVID-19, and or during this period of COVID-19. And it's really getting to the point that right now in this stage of things, what's taking place in our country is that it's going to get worse. And of course, in the case of black people, it's already a known fact that it's going to be 10 times more worse effectively than upon any other group of people in this country, especially when it comes to something like police brutality. Now, I just got done watching a video, and a very recent video down in Florida where, a bunch of black people congregated and was supposed to been having a good time or whatever. And, the cops came in and just, spoiled the whole party bunch, I guess, as they would say. And, started arresting people, accusing people of possessing guns and all this other kind of crap. And then next thing you know, violence erupt where one cop is attacked. But of course, all this wasn't going on when them white supremacists were demonstrating the massive protests they had going in Michigan, in the governor's, not in the governor's mansion, but in the state capitol, and where, other parts of the country where white supremacists was having, massive protests while they were brandishing assault rifle weapons at the same time. But here it is in a situation down in Florida where blacks are seen just enjoying themselves. Like I say, trying to have a good time, as they would say. Cops just came in and disrupted it completely and turned it into a whole, unnecessary travesty situation. Now, like I said in the comment section under the video, responding to one comment about it is that, black people might as well just get the hell out of America. We not going to come together on a common collective basis as far as uniting to do something about our situation in this country. So what's the only solution? The only solution is to pack up and get the hell out of America. Like I've been saying all along on social media and in general, And I just made a video about that last night, And it's like, I mean, we might as well just go ahead and, you know, find you a country where you will be treated more like a human being. And this applies to myself as well. Because I'm not going to give no advice that I'm not going to follow up on myself. But see, I'm not, also, I just want to get this straight. I'm not trying to be no leader either, or no guide in this situation, or no Black Moses, that's trying to lead some type of black mass exodus. I'm not trying to do none of that, okay? All I'm saying is that as individuals and individual families, if you can get a passport and a visa, especially when people are able to travel back out this country after this COVID-19 situation thing blows over, then get out of America. That's your only option at this point, as far as, seeing a future or better survival in terms of human condition being concerned. Because the conditions that we find ourselves in this country as, the children of slaves born in America, it don't look too good, and it's not going to get any better, and we keep on, running around complaining. We know what's going on, but we're not willing to do nothing about it. We're not willing to unite on a common collective basis to do anything about this situation that's going to affect change for us all as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America for the better of our existence as a people in this country. So, like I said before, we might as well go on ahead and just, exit North America. Get the hell away from here. I mean, we see what's going on. Black protesters being arrested at a discriminatory high alarming rate in New York City during COVID-19, as opposed to how many lesser whites is being arrested because they're not social distancing, and all this crazy stuff. And I mean, it's clear to see, that the racism in this country permeates every situation we find ourselves in as a people, even in a crisis. And what's worse is, because it's a crisis and because the country is economically being affected by this crisis, which is definitely not making things no better. And so now, who's getting the worst end of it? Black people. Black people are dying more from COVID-19 at a 3-time rate than Caucasians is. And like I said, I'm not going to say it's just because of outside external forces, but it also has a lot, like I said before, previously in another video, to do with, black people not being responsible either by social distancing themselves. But the fact that when you get a group of black people trying to just enjoy themselves, even in a social setting, when they are supposed to be, which I agree, social distancing themselves, it seems very ironic and funny, not funny to say, but very ironic that the police all of a sudden would disrupt that type of gathering as opposed when a bunch of white people are together grouped up like that, having a good time, and you don't see no police nowhere trying to interrupt anything. And so, like I said, once again, this is just the case of the fact of how racism still permeates this society on an all around basis. Everywhere you look and turn, it dictates everything in this society. And we see that it's mostly bringing a harder effect on black people than anybody else. And, I want to also say that where's our leaders at in this situation? Where's Louis Farrakhan? Where's Al Sharpton? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's Tavis Smiley? Judge Mathis. All these so-called spokesmen of the black community. Where are they at? Tucked in a mansion somewhere? Hiding? Because they don't want to be in the media? Because they know it's not going to benefit them for some reason? I haven't even heard even one black leader get out there and lead the charge as far as massive protests are out, so-called outrage go. Over that shooting of that brother that got killed in Brunswick, Georgia, while he was just trying to jog. I haven't heard no black leaders lead the charge and say enough is enough. We got to do something about this and actually put that willingly into effect. Where's your so-called organizations at? Like the NAACP, the Nation of Islam. Your major known black organizations in this country. They ain't nowhere to be found. While all this police brutality abruptly is the only thing that's socially happening in America right now, that's of course affecting black people more so than anybody else. Where are they at? Where's even Black Lives Matter at? Of all organizations, speaking of such, where's Black Lives Matter at? So this is what I'm talking about. We're not going to really do nothing about our situation. We're not going to do nothing commonly on a collective basis to come together, which is being proven over and over and over. And I've even said this on the platform many other times that I speak from, that we're not going to do nothing about our situation until we come together. We're not going to do nothing about our situation. And so this is going to keep continuing. All we going to keep doing is complaining, moping, griping, bitching. Excuse my expression. I don't use cuss, but I'm just saying, we going to keep on doing all this stuff, but actually doing something to create a better safe haven and environment for us as a people and for our generations to come after us. And this is the situation, a reality that so-called Black America is faced with. So, I'm at the point where, like I said, the only solution that I've been talking about on social media at that point is what's left other than to get the hell out this country. Go somewhere where you'll be treated equally as a human being instead as a 3/5 animal, 3/5 of a human animal, like this country has always perceived us as being anyway, for over 400 years, going on 500, Even according to the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, we're still slaves. For those of you that know and didn't know, so like I said, what do you expect under these type of circumstances when you see police brutally attacking black people from all fronts, in the way that they doing it, that they're not doing it to other groups of people, especially Caucasian people that are the majority in this country, So like I said before, the situation at this point in time is that you need to go ahead and just go online and do some researching and find a country that'll fit your taste, that'll fit your satisfaction or taste or whatever, and just go. Get you and your family up out of here. When the chances come to when we could get back when people could get back on the plane and be able to travel and fly about the country. And it's just that simple. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but that's part of the reality that we face with as black people. I know you don't want to hear that because you're comfortable with your condition, your slave-like condition. You comfortable because you got your $80, $70, $60,000 a year jobs, your 401k plans, and your other benefits that come along with being in America. I already know. So that's what you really mainly worried about. But how about this? Like I said before, and I'm going to reiterate it again. While you depending on that comes with a price, being so-called black in America. Because if you're dead, you ain't going to enjoy your 401k of benefits after you then got killed by some racists because you the N-word. So like I said before, this is just the reality. You're comfortable because you got your multi-million-dollar sports or entertainment contracts and your lavish mansions, and all this other glittery stuff you got, far material. You comfortable with that, so you know this is all you've known. This is all you want. But see, at the end of the day, like I say, a price comes with that. And that's called racism. And I don't care how many times I repeat that. I could repeat that until I get blue in the face, as they say. Because I know most of you are not mentally conditioned to look at this situation any other way than for what it is, So, like I said, hey, you could find yourself a potential dead N-word or a potential N-word languishing in one of these penitentiaries, especially on death row somewhere here in America, just because of the color of your skin. And like I said before, previously, not so much just because you committed a crime. It's plenty of black people who got killed by the police or who ended up getting incarcerated, at the hands of police corruption because they black. It's just a reality. Like that sister Michelle Alexander said, mass incarceration, the new Jim Crow. Like she got printed on the front of that book she wrote concerning that. So like I said, this is real. This is not no game. This is definitely not no game. And if y'all cannot accept that reality, as far as truth being concerned for what it is, then hey, you gonna keep on getting what you get. You gonna keep being the N-word. You gonna keep getting lynched. You gonna keep getting your head blew off by these peckerwoods. You gonna keep on getting mobbed by these white militia groups out here that definitely hate the N-word with a passion. and a lot of them even feel like we don't even need to be existing on this planet anyway. So I mean, this is the reality of what we're dealing with here as dark-skinned people here in America, especially those of us that are children of slaves born in America. And like I said before, we need to understand and realize that. And this is the reason why I keep constantly putting videos out like this to remind us that either we unite or we accept our fate as it continues to be, which is called the N-word. And it's nothing good about being the N-word. It's nothing good or what comes behind the N-word, as we could see. Even if we call each other that, it's nothing good that comes behind it. So like I said before, this is just the reality of what's happening. I really, I'm almost just at a complete loss of words. I mean, because we're very divided. We're very sensitive, emotional, can't control our sensitivity and emotions when it comes to dealing with each other, which is one reason why we can't unite, and we have too many other issues, that's keeping us apart from uniting. And I ain't talking about it taking tens of millions of us to unite. Just a small group of us just coming together could make a big difference. Just like if it was kind of proven during the civil rights movement. Everybody that's black in America wasn't a part of the civil rights movement. But you see what got done as a result of the civil rights movement with a few, little civil rights legislations got passed on our behalf. And it's the same thing with this Mississippi campaign that me and brother, Angel Snup Snup 7 was proposing. But hey, like I said, we doomed. We're doomed in this country. Because we don't want to really liberate ourselves from this oppression that we find ourselves facing constantly, which can get worse. There's even a lot of these racists that want us back in slavery. And to be honest with you, at the right given select time or moment, you don't believe that could happen, but it can. It's so many signs just certain that's being, shown even during this period of crisis that we're facing in this country. Is signs every day. People can't even handle pressure during the crisis. You know, they acting out, especially in a violent manner. They acting out emotionally. You know, people. It's just so crazy. You know, people are. When they're told, when they walking in the store and they told to put on a face mask, they resort to fighting and attacking employees that warn them about the need of putting on a face mask when they walk into their place of business, or they resort to pulling a gun, on somebody and shooting them, like what happened in Flint, Michigan recently, So I mean, this is the type of society we're in. This is the type of situation we're in. But yet, especially being black, this is what we want to live around. This is all we know. This is what we're conditioned to know and understand. But many of us say we want to live in peace. Many of us claim we want a peace of mind in this life. But, your actions don't demonstrate that. Because you're dependent on materialism. You're dependent on, like I said, the benefits of what comes along with being in this country that may not always exist, given the right time or opportunity. Just look at the economic situation this country is experiencing because of this crisis, which could get more worse, especially when you got incompetent leadership that's behind this situation, you see. So, like I said, I mean, you could keep playing all the games that you want to, but that's you. I've come to the point like this here. Many of you, and I'm referring to those of us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America, mainly, it seemed like you like drama. Not only for yourselves, but even for your children, your offsprings. You don't care nothing about that when you hear them getting gunned down. Especially when they walking home from the store with a can of Arizona tea and a bag of Skittles. And then when something happen like that, you get out in the streets, cry, protest, and whimper and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, your actions showing you really don't care at the same time either. Because soon as you get some lawsuit money after one of your loved ones that been gunned down by a racist, then you go into obscurity. Don't nobody hear from you no more. In other words, the struggle is over with now. We done got our lawsuit money, See, this is the type of stuff, that really is appalling. It really is. And this is why black people, among other reasons, is going to keep getting what they get in this country. You're going to keep getting what you get. You don't want you don't want to come out this condition. America has shown over and over and over that the only thing they have planned for us as a group of people is utterly total destruction. And if that's possible, where they could just go ahead and just throw us all off in the mass graves and just be done with it. And then that means they would no longer have to worry about the so-called Negro problem. in America. Because look, I know there are some of you, even in the pro-black conscious community, that may say that, well, they still need us, for our labor and this and that. No, they don't. They got other people replacing us, like the Mexicans, those other ones that's coming from Central America, the Africans, and the people that's coming from the other so-called third world foreign lands. Far as when you want to talk about labor, hard labor, work or whatever, they are the new N words that they using to replace us. So they really don't need us. And really true hindsight, they really don't need us. And they showing us that every day. Just by the fact that, they killing us. They killing a lot of us out there, in every way they can. If not incarcerating a bunch of us in any way that they can, So, like I said, this is just the only thing that we got to look forward to as so-called Black America. And like I said before, we don't see the writing on the wall because we so busy caught up to this fantasy world of religion, materialism, and all this other crazy stuff that ain't got us nowhere as a whole, far as on the common collective basis for the best of all of us as a people, So, like I said, we might as well just be exterminated, as I repeatedly say again, we might as well be exterminated. I mean, that's just the reality of it, And if we don't accept the reality and come to our senses of understanding what we're up against by being willing to do something about it, because we don't really have much time. Matter of fact, we may have ran out of time, as someone would say, So the thing is that keep playing with your future, keep playing with your children's future, and keep playing with even the future generations to come behind us. And that may not, and we may not even have to worry about no other future generations coming behind us at the rate that Black people in this country are going. So, I mean, that's just the reality of it. We don't want to band together, like I say, on a common collective basis, like with the ideal that me and the brother had, far as us taking politically control of a state to carve out a new reality existence for ourselves other than what we know now as a people in this country and that we've always known as a people in this country, long as we've been in this bondage situation as slaves. I mean, so like I said, that's your choice. Of course, I'm going to do what I got to do. And I urge you, even if it have to be that way as individuals and individual families, to do what you got to do. Even that means getting a passport, like I said, and getting the hell out of America, which definitely has proven not to have nothing but utter destruction to offer to the dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in this country. So, if you really wish that things would change, well, you would just keep wishing Just keep praying and waiting on these mythical gods that ain't showed up, and apparently that ain't gonna never show up to work this magic to turn this situation around for us. You know, you just caught up in too much fantasy. So this is the results that you're gonna keep getting. Hey, and like I said before, I really am almost at a loss of words because there ain't really nothing to say. What I got to say, basically, everything that has happened speaks alone for itself. Clearly, that just only confirms what I may have to say, and what anybody truly may have to say about our situation in terms of reality. So I mean, it's like we are in a real tight situation. I mean, either we gon' like I say, unite, which it don't look like we are going to do, even though I would love to see something like that happen in this country. But I'm gonna be honest, it's becoming more like a mythical religious belief that black people is going to one day unite to do something for us as a people, to change our condition all together for once and for all. It's almost becoming like a religion, which is called belief. It's almost coming like a religion to believe something like that is going to happen in America because of our conditions, situation, the situation of our mental condition, first of all, because if the mind and the mental condition of the mind is not stable enough to grasp to what the reality is, what we got to do, and then do it, then ain't nothing else to say. Ain't nothing else to really talk about at that point. It really ain't. And that's basically the reality of the whole situation. I mean, so I mean, hey, the only thing, like I say, in advice of that I can offer is just get the hell out of America, like I've been saying lately. And I know, like I said, a lot of you, even in the so-called pro-black conscious community, don't want to hear that. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, you done tried this other stuff, civil rights, the Million Man March. You tried these other different methods, and it just ain't worked. We still in the position that we are in after over 400 years. We or from or up from chattel slavery. We still where we are. Here we go again. You know, no matter what we do, as someone would say, that, whether we made individual accomplishments or any other accomplishments as a people in this country, we still the N-word. And as a result of being the N-word, we find ourselves in a situation of being targeted violently and otherwise, and that's just the life of what it is to be black in America. That's just part of what the life culture is of being black in America, unfortunately, whether you want to accept it or not, you know. And some of our ancestors had sense enough to see some of the writing on the wall, like the ones that left and went to Liberia. And that's regardless of what you even say about Liberia. At least they went over there and created a haven situation for themselves where they descendants don't have to experience what we as their descendants here in America still experience, far as gerrymandering, police brutality, housing discrimination, job discrimination, you know what I'm saying? And all this other crap we deal with every day as a people living in this country. I mean, so hey, this is what we get because we're too comfortable in our zone. We've got too comfortable as a people in our zone here. We just too comfortable with this crap. So it's when an ideal comes up about if you're not gonna do nothing to make your situation change altogether for once and for all as a people in this country, but then to lead the country is as being the next option, you don't want to hear that because that's something too foreign to you. Even those of you that are claiming to be Pan-Africans, but you're not gonna make no real efforts on a massive level to go to Africa because that's foreign to you. You see, and what's foreign to someone brings in insecurity, uncertainty, fear. It's understandable. But sometimes in certain situations, ones must, face that fear. And hey, take your shot and see where you go from there. Take your best shot and see where you go from there. Because as like I said before, here in America, you already know what it is, but you're not trying to do nothing to correct it as a people. So hey, what other option do you got? Still remain here, being the N-word, and being treated like the N-word? I mean, that's what you want? That's what you want for your babies? That's what you want for, like I say, any future generations of ours to come behind us? Hey, but then that's what it's going to be. And, I'm at the point right now that I'm about to close out this video. But I just want to, come back in and chime in and just, express what's going on, even during this time of crisis that we find ourselves in this country, especially as a group of people, far as us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. And, with that said, I have no other, recourse to really discuss anything at this particular time, although other things will, of course, be discussed in other future videos I do. But, right now, I just don't have anything else right now to discuss because it's so appalling just to see where we are as a people. And there's a lot of us that know what must be done and ain't trying to do nothing, but just sit around and talk. Like James Brown say, talk but ain't talking about nothing. And just jaw japping, especially all over social media, and ain't talking about nothing. Want to debate and all this. Like this gonna make a damn difference, I mean, why a lot of us is getting shot down in the street like dogs by the races, getting brutalized by the races every day in this country. Can't even go out and jog or walk just because you're black without losing your life or having some type of physical harm brought on you just because of that, So like I said, it's just crazy, And then what don't make it even what even don't make it better, as well as when you got to worry about people that look like us, that's willing to do the same thing to us as the racists is doing to us. So I mean, this I mean, this is what you want. This what comes along with being in America. I mean, and like I said before, hey, this is what you keep getting. And I can't say enough when it comes to this, but I really, it's just pitiful. It's a pitiful sight, It's really a pitiful sight just to see what black people are, and the fact that we are people that don't even want to change our condition. We want to remain in the condition that we are in mentally. Regardless of what our financial status is, what our sexuality is, what our so-called religious or belief system status is, or ideology status is, we all in the same boat. And it's sinking real fast, like the Titanic. So long as you want to remain comfortable in your slave-like condition and oppression here in a country like America, this is what you're going to keep getting. Because, like I said apparently before, you're not willing to do nothing effectively to turn this thing around completely for once and for all. As far as the situation that we're in as black people here in America, and like I said, you don't see these black leaders around nowhere while all this is happening to us, even in COVID-19. You don't see them on the front lines or getting out there, even taking licks by these racist cops, like people like Martin Luther King Jr. was doing back in the 60s. You don't see them even out there like that. Which means, any real so-called black leadership we had is completely non-existent. It's very non-existent. So I mean, we're in a very dire situation that we are facing total extermination or destruction, as they call it. So once again, that's the only thing I can leave you with in this video for now. And with that said, I'm Audi 5000, as someone would say, and peace.